The fans are responding to the announcement that tonight's game is scheduled to begin on time, and you are looking at Jack Armstrong, the ace of the Cincinnati staff and the scheduled starter for the National League tonight as he begins his warm-up tosses down the left field line. We'll have the introduction of the players shortly, but first, let's take you across the street on the other side of the ballpark, where Pat O'Brien is standing by on high. Pat?
All right, Greg, thank you very much. You know, this is part of the confines of the Wrigley Field neighborhood, being on the rooftop. And the reason you don't see many people leaving these rooftops is that once you get up here, even in the rain, you don't want to give this seat up. As you can see from where we are, we're at 1010 Waveland. It is a spectacular view of the ballpark. In fact, it's a tremendous seat to be at. One of the things about these apartments is that they charge about $200 or $300 extra for you to live in them. And we went inside one of them. Many of them are shrines to, if not the Chicago Cubs, to baseball itself. In fact, they celebrate memories that didn't even happen. Those are tickets to the 1984 World Series. Steve Garvey ruined that one. I want to show you what happens down on Waveland. This is one of my favorite parts of this ballpark. Down there is where the kids from 1 to 92 wait for balls to come over the left field fence. I want to show you how it's done in one of our favorite moves. It was the day the mailman caught the baseball, or he didn't catch it on the first hop anyway. He had to fight for it. Here's how it's done. The mailman in blue, in shorts. He grabs the ball. He comes running out of the crowd. The U.S. government wasn't real thrilled with this, but he got to keep the ball. Now, if you get an enemy ball out here, neighborhood rules, you got to throw it back. Here's how the experts say it should be done.
The best thing to do is just, when you see everybody run into a pile, to run up and stay low, because a lot of balls will go off gloves, and the closer to the ground you are, the better chance you probably got of picking one off the ground today.
They didn't always catch baseballs over there. The Chicago Bears used to play at Wrigley, and every now and then a football or two would go over, and I don't think they ever threw those back, did they, Joe Girardi?
No, I'm sure they kept those.
Joe Girardi, the catcher of the Chicago Cubs. You don't watch many games from up here, I know.
Well, if I was up here, I'd probably be retired or released, so I don't want to watch any games up here until about 10 years from now.
You're definitely familiar with Chicago weather. Talk about this rain. They got to play this game tonight, right?
I think they'll play this game. It's windy. I think the weather will blow out of here, and it'll be a nice night.
Joe, thanks for joining us. Good luck second part of the season. As we said, there's a tremendous view here. You can see the city through the clouds. There's the old scoreboard. We're going to go up there later on this evening. And for last year when the Cubs made the playoffs, they added that outhouse back there. But my favorite thing about this is that your kitchen's only 40 or 50 feet away, and at 600 or so feet from home plate, Greg Gumbel, one thing they never bring up here is a baseball glove. No balls are coming here. Back to you.
All right, Pat, thank you. And again, we are getting ready for the start of this baseball game. That will do it for this abbreviated pregame show. The players will be introduced shortly, and you will meet them as CBS Sports continues its coverage of the 61st Major League Baseball game.
Please don't leave.
Final boarding call for flight 178.
Seattle has left. There's another flight at 4. 3 hours? Now what do I do? Gordon, I better call him. I'm going to do some revisions here. I've got a couple of hours, and if I could just hook up my computer to a phone line.
When you're on the road, nobody has more ways to help you than AT&T.
Time for one more call home.
AT&T, how can we help you?
One new Duracell battery. One old Duracell battery after 9 loud weeks in a boombox. Close your eyes. No peeking. Okay, open them. Now, which is which? This is why we saved the new Duracell package. It holds the copper top tester, which tells you if a battery is good or needs to be replaced. The new one, the old one. It's that simple. The new copper top tester. It's free and only from Duracell.
There's a line that every player must cross. And whether that line is drawn in chalk or paint, on a patch of dirt, or under a man-made sky, when you cross the line, you give it everything you've got. And when you return, Gatorade puts it back. Fluids, minerals, energy.
Michelin high-performance radios. Everything you would expect from a Michelin, only faster.
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it with Son of a Gun from STP. Shoot the dash, seats, tires, and roof. Son of a Gun protecting. Man, what a difference.
This game.
Think I'm crazy?
Yeah, I do.
Can't you see it, Frank? The best in the American against the best in the National. It'll be great.
But, Arch, the game don't count for nothing.
Will to the fans.
Good night, Mr. Ward.
Night, Andy. We'll see.
There's the ball inside. Say, do you think Arch Ward ever dreamed it would turn out like this? Here's the pitch right there. There it goes.
Hit a home run.
Bambino's the first all-star game home run. Oh, my.
Someday you'll play this game, son. Someday we'll all play this game together.
Boys and girls, this boy Hubble is a pitcher. Here it is.
There's a high drive going deep, deep. It is a home run.
Come on, Ernie, big stick, Ernie, come on. Come on, Ernie, the hit brings us to you, come on.
Afternoon, Frank.
Hey, Mr. Ward.
Looks like you're a genius, David, Frank. Give it to me in 50 years if we're still around. Hey, who's going to win that game tomorrow? Remember? It don't count for nothing.
Yeah, sure.
Rosen coming to the plate, throws the throw. It's all over. The National League wins. Long drive, deep right field. It's 3-2. Nobody even turns to look.
Ball hit deep, way back. Davis, what's up? It's out of here.
Grandpa, do you remember cutting here? Was this fun?
I always had fun at Wrigley Field.
The fly ball beats the left side. Back. Hey! He did it!
Look, Grandpa.
Great catch tomorrow. You know, I never thought I'd say this. It's a beautiful night for baseball. Let's play, too.
Welcome back to Chicago, Illinois, everyone. The bright lights point the way to Wrigley Field on the near north side of Chicago, the site tonight of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. And what's a little rain when there's an All-Star Game to be played? As you can see, the tarp is being removed, and the players are standing by. The fans have made their way in from all parts of the city, and in some cases from all around the country. One of the two hand-operated scoreboards in Major League Baseball in this, the oldest park in the National League, formerly Weigman Field and now Wrigley Field. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. The American League trails in this series 37-22 with one tie. Time to introduce the participants. Let's join Wayne Messmer, the public address announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrigley Field and the 1990 All-Star Game. At this time, let's meet the 1990 American League All-Star team. First, the trainers from the Kansas City Royals, Mickey Cobb, and from the Minnesota Twins, Dick Martin. Next, the batting practice coaches from the Chicago White Sox, number 10, Jeff Torborg. From the Oakland Athletics, number 8, Dave McKay. And in the bullpen, number 18, Dave Duncan. Now the coaches. Number 20, Frank Robinson of the Baltimore Orioles. And Jim Lefevre, number 5, from the Seattle Mariners. Now the American League non-starters. From the Baltimore Orioles, number 30, Greg Olson. From the Boston Red Sox, number 12, Ellis Burks. And number 21, Roger Clemens. From the California Angels, number 13, Lance Parrish. And number 31, Chuck Finley. Next, from the Chicago White Sox, number 13, Ozzie Guillen. And number 37, Bobby Thigpen. Next, from the Cleveland Indians, number 11, Doug Jones. And number 26, Brooks Jacoby. From the Detroit Tigers, number 3, Alan Trammell. And number 45, Cecil Fielder. From the Kansas City Royals, number 18, Brett Saberhagen. From the Milwaukee Brewers, number 39, Dave Parker. From the Minnesota Twins, number 34, Kirby Puckett. From the Oakland Athletics, number 43, Dennis Eckersley. From the Seattle Mariners, number 51, Randy Johnson. From the Texas Rangers, number 14, Julio Franco. From the Toronto Blue Jays, number 11, George Bell. Number 17, Kelly Gruber. And number 37, Dave Steve. And now, managing his second All-Star game, from the defending world champion Oakland Athletics, number 10, Tony La Russa. Starters as voted by you, the fans, in the USA Today Major League Baseball All-Star Fan Balloting. Leading off and playing left field, the American League's all-time stolen base leader and 9-time All-Star from the Oakland Athletics, Ricky Henderson. Batting second and playing third base, a 5-time American League batting champion from the Boston Red Sox, Wade Boggs. Batting third and playing right field, this year's American League top vote getter, baseball's first 40-40 player from the Oakland Athletics, Jose Canseco. Batting fourth and playing shortstop, making his 7th consecutive start at shortstop from the Baltimore Orioles, Cal Ripken. Batting fifth and playing center field, making his first All-Star appearance from the Seattle Mariners, Ken Griffey Jr. Batting sixth and playing first base, the 1987 American League Rookie of the Year from the Oakland Athletics, Mark McGwire. Seventh and catching, the first rookie catcher ever selected by fans to start an All-Star game from the Cleveland Indians, Sandy Alomar Jr. Batting eighth and playing second base, making his first American League All-Star start from the New York Yankees, Steve Sax. And batting ninth and pitching, the American League leader with 13 victories this year 1990 All-Stars of the American League.
Bob Welch at 13-3 on the year has the American League best. Dwayne Messmer for the National Leaguers.
Now let's meet the 1990 National League All-Star team. First, the trainers from the Chicago Cubs, John Fierro. And from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Kent Biggerstaff. The batting practice coaches from the San Francisco Giants, number 5, Bob Lillis. In the bullpen, number 34, Norm Sherry. And number 42, Bill Fahey. And now the coaches from the Chicago Cubs, number 4, Don Zimmer. From the Pittsburgh Pirates, number 10, Jim Leland. And from the San Diego Padres, number 2, Sandy Alomar Sr. Now the National League non-starters. From the Atlanta Braves, number 10, Greg Olson. From the Chicago Cubs, number 12, Sean Dunston. From the Cincinnati Reds, number 11, Barry Larkin. Also from the Reds, number 28, Randy Myers. And number 49, Rob Dibble. From the Houston Astros, number 45, Dave Smith. From the Los Angeles Dodgers, number 48, Ramon Martinez. From the Montreal Expos, number 29, Tim Warwick. And number 32, Dennis Martinez. From the New York Mets, number 18, Darryl Strawberry. Number 29, Frank Viola. And number 31, John Franco. Next from the Pittsburgh Pirates, number 24, Barry Bonds. Number 25, Bobby Bonilla. And number 26, Neil Heaton. Introducing from the San Diego Padres, voted as a starting catcher, unable to play because of injury tonight, number 9, Benito Santiago. Also from the Padres, number 12, Roberto Alomar. And number 19, Tony Gwynn. From the San Francisco Giants, number 9, Matt Williams. And number 49, Jeff Brantley. Now, let's meet the manager of the National League All-Stars. From the defending National League champion San Francisco Giants, number 38, Roger Craig. And now, the National League starters as voted by you, the fans in the USA Today Major League Baseball All-Star Fan Balloting. Leading off and playing center field, the National League batting leader from the Philadelphia Phillies, Len Dykstra. Batting second and playing second base. Taking his 5th consecutive All-Star start, the National League top vote getter from the Chicago Cubs, Sandberg. from the San Francisco Giants, Will Clark. Batting fourth and playing left field, the 1989 National League Most Valuable Player from the San Francisco Giants, Kevin Mitchell. Batting fifth and playing right field, the 1987 National League Most Valuable Player, making his 7th All-Star Game appearance from the Chicago Cubs, Andre Dawson. Batting sixth and playing third base, making his first All-Star Game start from the Cincinnati Reds, Chris Sabo. Batting seventh and catching, making his 2nd consecutive All-Star appearance from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mike Scioscia. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, making his 8th consecutive All-Star start, a recipient of 10 straight Gold Glove Awards from the St. Louis Cardinals, Ozzie Smith. Batting ninth and pitching, appearing in his first All-Star game from the Cincinnati Reds, Jack Armstrong. Ladies and gentlemen, your 1990 National League All-Star.
Jack Armstrong has gone to the National League clubhouse for his final preparations, the native of Englewood, New Jersey. Cincinnati's #1 draft choice 3 years ago. He is 11-3, and in this, his first full season in the major leagues, he is the National League starting pitcher in the All-Star game.
And now let's meet the honorary captains for tonight's All-Star game. First, for the American League. Although he spent 19 seasons as one of the game's premier catchers, he may best be remembered by Chicagoans as one of the South's most successful managers. In his 13 straight seasons at the helm, he guided the White Sox to 852 victories. In 1959, he took the Go-Go Sox to their first World Series in 40 years. Introducing the American League honorary captain and 1977 inductee to baseball's Hall of Fame, Al Lopez. And for the National League, he won at least 20 games on 6 occasions. Twice led the league in victories, complete games, and shutouts. A 10-time All-Star. This high-kicking right-hander was named Most Valuable Player of the 1965 game. He finished his 16-year career with 243 victories and a 2.89 ERA. Introducing the National League honorary captain, a 1983 inductee to the Baseball Hall of Fame, Juan Marichal. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise for the presentation of the colors tonight of the United States Coast Guard, celebrating their 200th year of service to our country. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join, along with organist Gary Pressey and yours truly, Chicago Cubs public address announcer Wayne Messmer, in a singing of the Canadian National Anthem. With bold to honor America, please join international recording artist and Chicago native Richard Marx as he sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The Stars have come out in Chicago. We'll be back with a special introduction live from Chicago after this word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the 61st All-Star Game is sponsored by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. The Century 21 system. Put your trust in number one. And by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Tonight,
Catch the All-Star lineup on CBS.
hold on to your seats for a sneak preview of the new CBS shows. Meet the newest heavy hitters in the CBS lineup tonight during the game. For CBS.
Get ready for CBS. There never was a year that could make you feel the way that this will. It's all right. If there ever was a year that could make your dreams real, this will. It's out of sight. So be my home. Look out, people, 'cause here we come. CBS is just so much that's new. So get ready. Get ready. We really think you're gonna love it too. So get ready. Get ready for CBS. Get ready for CBS. Get ready, 'cause here we come. We're on our way. Get ready for CBS. CBS has got so much for you. So get ready. Get ready for CBS.
This is CBS.
Did you know you could turn this into this? Build an all-seasons comfort home, and participating rural electric cooperative will reward you with a $1,000 rebate. The all-seasons comfort home combines optimum levels of insulation with the unmatched efficiency of geothermal heating and cooling. You get year-round comfort, year-round savings, and cash back. The only way you can lose is to settle for something less.
The all-seasons comfort home from your electric cooperative.
The factory said go. Your Dodge dealer's factory authorized clearance is on. We're clearing out our inventory to make room for the 91 models, so now's the time to move. Plus, we've got big cashback savings on nearly every Dodge car in stock. Or choose low financing on select models. Plus, lots of Caravans priced to move. Don't wait. Bring your title and be ready to trade.
See one of the 16 Central Kentucky Dodge dealers.
The total number of cheese puffs that you've eaten during championship wrestling and church picnics would add up to one profound puff. But you still wouldn't have a taste as big as these little Gino's pizza rolls. A tremendous taste of zesty pizza and a hot little bite-sized snack. A taste so big, it makes cheese puffs seem a little flat. Gino's pizza rolls. The pizza way to snack.
Another Wildcat assistant coach could be on the move, but an NBA coach is staying where he is. We'll have details following the All-Star game.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field in Chicago, everyone. The forecast is for intermittent showers, but the forecast is also for baseball as we present the 61st Major League All-Star Game. And I believe you're about to learn what noise and fan appreciation is all about as we return you to public address announcer Wayne Messmer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the playing field. To throw out tonight's ceremonial first pitch is one of the greatest players in baseball history. He played with the Cubs for 19 years, hit 512 home runs, and played in 13 All-Star games. And he'll be remembered forever at Wrigley Field as his retired number 14 flies atop the left field foul pole. To throw out tonight's ceremonial first pitch, accompanied by his granddaughter tomorrow, here's Mr. Cub, Hall of Famer, Ernie Banks. Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks, and his granddaughter, Tamara Holmes, setting the stage for a brilliant night of stars in Chicago. I'm Greg Gumbel. Jack Buck and Tim McCarver are set to call the play-by-play. We'll return to Wrigley Field for the first pitch of the All-Star Game right after this.
CBS Sports coverage of the 61st All-Star Game is sponsored by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. AT&T, the right choice. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Did you know that there is a belief in business today that some long-distance companies can save you lots of money over AT&T? But this has grown way out of proportion, especially if you're a small business. Look at it this way. When you compare the other guys' long-distance rates next to AT&T long-distance, you'll find you can get AT&T quality at extremely competitive prices. And there's nothing inflated about that.
Hello?
Value, another AT&T advantage.
It's Magic Summer from Coca-Cola Classic. Introducing the Coca-Cola Magic Cup Instant Win Game, where you can win up to $10,000 or other great prizes. Look for Magic Cup only at fountain outlets, where ice-cold Coca-Cola Classic is poured. Magic in the real thing. Can't beat the real thing.
Master locks are tough under fire. A Michelin tire can give you enough miles to circle the world more than 2 times. That's a lot of trips to Grandma's.
If you needed to turn a lot of information into a finished document of the highest copy quality, copy on both sides, reduce, enlarge, insert tabs, add covers, and make 12 perfectly bound booklets, all in about 10 minutes, then there's only one copier that can do the job, the Xerox 5090. Proof that quality starts with what customers need. Xerox, winner of the 1989 Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award.
And now we are only moments
away from the first pitch of the All-Star game. The rain has ceased. The playing conditions will be wonderful. The fans have all settled in, and we're happy that you're with us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to be with you. You know, in sports, we put particular words together to tell us that something big is about to happen. Gentlemen, start your engines. The horses are at the starting gate, but tonight, for us, two simple words. Play ball, Tim McCarver.
Well, 10 years from now, I don't think anybody's going to remember the score of tonight's ball game. But every player, whether participating or not, will have memory after memory of every thing that happens here this evening. Baseball's a team sport, but it's the remarkable individual skills on display here tonight as we start the 61st All-Star game, and I can't wait.
You see, the National League team has taken the field, and we're looking at Jack Armstrong. Quite a privilege for him. First pitcher to start an All-Star game in his first full season in the Major Leagues since Fernando did it back in 1981. Here's the very formidable lineup he'll be facing with the wind blowing out toward right. Ricky Henderson at left, Wade Boggs at third base, Jose Canseco in right field, Cal Ripken batting fourth, Ken Griffey Jr. in center field, and Mark McGwire at first. It's Sandy Alomar Jr. behind the plate, Steve Sachs at second base, and it will be Bob Welch, like Armstrong, a right-hander, on the mound.
Defensively, supporting Jack Armstrong will be Kevin Mitchell, nursing at right hamstring in left field. Lenny Dykstra, after 5 years with the Philadelphia Phillies, finally makes the All-Star team as a starter, or 5 years with the Mets, he's finally made it as a starter with the Phillies. Andre Dawson in right field. What an applause he got before the game. Chris Sabo, Rookie of the Year 2 years ago at third base. Ozzie Smith with 10 appearances in the All-Star game. Ryan Sandberg at second base. Will Clark, the Thrill, the National League Championship Series MVP last year, and the first start by Los Angeles Dodger catcher since 1954, Mike Scioscia, Jack Armstrong on the mound.
And Ricky Henderson at the plate, and he is quite capable of giving us a very explosive start. He has hit 43 home runs in his career as a leadoff hitter. Nonetheless, they have to play in and guard against a bunt. That's how versatile and formidable he is. Jack Armstrong, big, strong at 6'5", first pitch of the night. Upstairs for ball one. Coaching at third base is Jim Lefebvre. Manager of the Mariners and the Hall of Famer Frank Robinson at first. And ball two to Ricky Henderson, and you don't want to put him on base. Frank Robinson, a better look at him, Hall of Famer, and showing a lot of enthusiasm with his appearance here at Wrigley Field. 2-0 to Ricky Henderson. Ball three. And who's the skipper of the American League team? It's the manager of the defending champion, Oakland A's, Tony La Russa. 3-0, and Armstrong wants to throw a strike here. And he did. It's 3-1. Wade Boggs will follow, and then Jose Canseco. A beautiful sight here now that the rain has ceased. And Armstrong trying to catch his breath out there. This is breathtaking for some of these players. There's a fly ball into right field. Andre Dawson knows how to play it out there. The wind carries it. He caught it. You can see how formidable the wind is. It kept taking it away from Andre, but he's been through the mill out there in that position.
The wind blowing from left field to right field. And I mean, it is strong, about 20 miles an hour coming out of the north.
And here's Wade Boggs. Boggs is a little low in his annual figures, but he is batting .306. And takes a strike. And waiting on deck is Jose Canseco. Mike Scioscia behind the plate. So Armstrong, I'm sure, feeling better about getting that first out of the way. Inside to Wade Boggs. 1-1.
Boggs nursing a left hand injury all season long. And in the middle of June, he got a cortisone shot in that left hand. And he has responded very well. 14 for 36 in July.
Armstrong got that breaking pitch over. No need to tell you when you can throw hard, and this fellow is a good fastball pitcher. When he gets that breaking ball over, it backs the batter up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a little chopper, and that is trouble for Sabo. Can't make connections, and a base hit for Boggs. Boggs says, I'll take it. I'll take it, thank you.
7 consecutive 200-hit seasons for Wade Boggs. He has 94 hits this year. It's going to be very difficult for him to get a 200-hit season. Sabo, a do-or-die play, that in-between hop, but even if he comes up with it, Boggs has a hit.
Well, here's one of those players that baseball fans love to hate, rather hate to love. Jose Canseco. Note his batting average. Despite the home runs and RBIs, he hits for average as well. And he told Tim McCarver he's going to be pumping tonight. 1 on, 1 out. And that one just missed the outside corner. Wade Boggs, by the way, the runner at first, has not stolen a base all year, so Armstrong shouldn't worry about him. Will Clark holding against him. Frank Robinson coaching there. 1 on, 1 out in the first. And a big swing at that one. I love it when the big guys turn the bat loose.
That open stance of Canseco, as you see with his left foot, and the high fastball by Armstrong. Canseco, a good low ball hitter.
I don't think we'll see a hit and run here, do you? It is 1 ball, 1 strike to Jose. And a pop foul will blow out of play. 1-2 the count. So Armstrong, after falling behind Henderson and getting him on the fly ball, gave up the infield hit to Boggs, and now he's ahead on the count to Jose. 1-2.
4th All-Star selection, as you saw, but only his 2nd start. He was injured the first half of last year, still came back with 17 home runs, 57 RBIs in only half of the season.
And in the 1 full game he did play, he was 0 for 4. That was at Cincinnati. Played by Boggs. And 2-2. This pitcher, Jack Armstrong, is from New Jersey. Started his collegiate career at Rider College, ended up at the University of Oklahoma. He's quite a brash young man, and it has paid off in his stats. He's 11-3 for the year, and one of the big reasons why the Reds are sitting pretty. Two and 2. 1 on, 1 out.
Talking to Armstrong before the game, he didn't appear to be visibly nervous. It's not exactly, however, another day at the office. First full season with the Reds.
2-2 is the count. And a high fly ball foul. The wind will probably take it away. Clark is there, can't get it. It blew back about a half a dozen rows. Still 2-2. Jose Canseco, in addition to the good figures we've already shown you, has 12 stolen bases, so he's tough to double. They move in. Smith a step in at shortstop, and Ryan Sandberg in a step at second base. Actually, this infield could absorb that rain which fell here a moment ago. It was pretty hard. Now it's about perfect. Got him with a breaking ball. And the fans here at Wrigley Field love it. That's the 2nd out of the inning. As Canseco said, why don't you throw me a fastball I could knock out of here.
This slider is off the plate from Armstrong. After the bevy of fastballs up and in, the slider gets Canseco.
Here is Cal Ripken.
Here's a better look at that slider to Canseco. Actually, it had more of the plate than I thought.
Ripken has made only 1 error in addition to compiling the offensive figures you see. 1 error this year, and he has 79 consecutive errorless games. He hacked at that one, knocked it straight back, and it's strike 1.
Here he is, about a month ago, moved into the 6th spot with the Baltimore Orioles, and now he's batting cleanup on the All-Star team.
This is his 8th game in the All-Star appearances and 7 consecutive starts. Boggs at first. He was there with 1 out. He was there with 2 out. Or in the opening inning, Ricky Henderson flied out. Boggs an infield hit. Canseco struck out. And strike 1 to Cal Ripken. And that breaking ball missed. It's 1-1. Getting more clear by the moment here in the Wrigley Field area. And let's hope the rain stays away for this one. Ripken not doing very well in All-Star play with 3 out of 18. Boggs has been taking a very conservative lead. National League president is here, Bill White. We're going to play some baseball. We don't want any designated hitter, he said. We're going to play some baseball. 1-1 the count with 2 out. Bouncer for Ozzie. Force out at second. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. 1/2 inning and no score at Wrigley Field.
The U.S. used a satellite to study Venus. The Soviets used a satellite to study Mars. Now, Lexus is using a satellite to pinpoint Tim Murphy's last oil change. At Lexus, we're linked to a satellite system that can instantly transmit your maintenance history to any dealer in the country. You see, we don't just promise you the sky. We deliver it.
Dear Michelin, in the last 6 years, we've gone through over 30,000 diapers, 2,000 jars of baby food, 1,700 rolls of paper towels, 176 pairs of shoes, and 23 babysitters. But we bought only 1 set of Michelins. Thank you.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Nothing beats it. The one and only. The clean, the crisp, the cold. The king of beers.
Nothing beats the buzz. Nothing beats the king of beers. Nothing beats the Budweiser. Nothing beats the buzz.
The American League didn't score, had 1 hit in the top half of the first inning, and from the Goodyear blimp, a look at Wrigley Field and a close-up look now at Bob Welch. Earlier this year, he won 10 in a row. He has a current record of 13-3. Here's the lineup which will confront him. Lenny Dykstra in center. Ryan Sandberg. Will Clark. Kevin Mitchell. Andre Dawson, who just signed a new contract today. Chris Sabo at third base. Mike Scioscia, the catcher. Ozzie Smith batting 8th, and the pitcher will bat in this game, and that's Jack Armstrong.
Defensively for the American League, Ricky Henderson, Ken Griffey Jr., Canseco in right, Wade Boggs at third, Cal Ripken Jr. at shortstop, Steve Sachs at second base, Mark McGwire at first base, Sandy Alomar Jr. Look at that, 3 juniors playing on defense. Like a high school, huh?
And here's a kid who looks like a junior as small as he is, Lenny Dykstra. He is leading the league in hitting at 360. And he knows what we're going to do to him later. We have some pictures of him as a kid, and he knows about it. He's, oh, no, you're not going to do that, are you? This is his all-star debut. I said, are you thinking about bunting? He said, no. Leads it off against Bob Welch. Ball 1. Dykstra has 4 home runs, 16 stolen bases. Welch and his battery mate, Sandy Alomar. On the corner and a called strike. Following Dykstra will be this gentleman, Ryan Sandberg, who received the biggest ovation of the evening. Boy, they love him here in Chicago.
Second day in a row. He also received the biggest ovation in the home run hitting contest yesterday.
And then helped his National League team win that home run hitting contest. Foul ball puts Dykstra in the hole 1 and 2. And Ed Montague, the plate umpire, left hands a new one out to the mound. Well, let's see if Lenny Dykstra shaved. Oh, he shaved for this game. That's nice of him.
Remember that movie, The Man of 1,000 Faces? That's Lenny Dykstra. Constant movement with the fingers. First Phillies center fielder to start an all-star game since Richie Ashburn did back in 1951.
And Harry Walker is the only other Philadelphia player to start in center field.
Check the fingers on Lenny Dykstra.
And he's choked up on the bat. 2 and 2 the count. The most games that Bob Welch has ever won is 17, so he's on his way to his banner season. Let's hope for him. 13 and 3. Leadoff hitter is Dykstra. 2 and 2 the count. No score. First inning. Wind blowing to right. For the left fielder, Ricky Henderson. Everything hit out to left field will hang up as it's rolled into the wind. And let's tune in. Let's tune in as they greet Mr. Sandberg. Sandberg up with 1 out. Look at those statistics. And 1 for the third baseman, Wade Boggs. Tagged by McGwire for the second out. So there are 2 gone. And the number 3 hitter for the National League is one who had a great playoff here at Wrigley Field in Candlestick Park, Will Clark.
There you could see on that ball hit by Sandberg, you mentioned earlier, Jack, that the infield was hard. It was, but the grass is very high on the infield. Balls do not shoot through that infield like it does in most parks.
Grass is high, it's wet, it's slow, and then it scoots when it gets to the dirt. Ball 1 to Will Clark. Clark, 14 home runs. Have him played accordingly. Here's a ball that's going to drop. So that's the first hit for the National League. The sweet stroke of Will Clark puts him on base. And he's used to standing on first base and looking in at the next batter.
Over the years, 20 Giants, 5 different Giants have started at first base. Will Clark's third start. And he hits this ball right off the end of the bat. A little jumper into center field. First hit for the National League.
Ken Griffey got it back in, and Clark smiling at first base. Gave Mark McGwire a little punch down there. And here's his teammate, Kevin Mitchell. Had a couple of home runs on Sunday, giving him 21 for the year. Woo! And a good save by Sandy Alomar. That was a tough pitch to handle, Tim.
I guess Welch thought he had Ron Hasty back there. Ron Hasty has caught 49 of his last 51 starts. No truth to the rumor, as you see the fine play by the rookie catcher, Sandy Alomar Jr.
And a breaking ball strike from Bob Welch.
No truth to the rumor that Hasty has been shipped in and the roster has been expanded.
There are 2 out here in the bottom of the first. No score. Mitchell chops it foul. He's in the hole 1 and 2. So for the most part, both of these pitchers are getting ahead on the count. That's Dave Steve. He's getting ready early in this game. Manager Tony La Russa said that his pitchers probably will only work 2 innings. Mitchell wouldn't go for it. 2 and 2.
I think it may be a little different with Welch because Welch was hurt in his last start. He only worked 3 1/3 innings. He was hurt in Milwaukee. He had won 10 in a row before that. So Tony may change things and go with only 1 inning out of Bob Welch tonight.
Will Clark's at first base. There are 2 out. 2-2 the count on the batter. And that's going to go out of play.
Kevin Mitchell wears that shin guard, that small shin guard on his left ankle, because on sinker ball pitchers, of course, Bob Welch is a guy who rides his fastball, a high fastball, but with sinker ball pitchers, Mitchell is inclined to hammer those sinkers on his left foot. You see that more in evidence today. A lot of hitters who are low ball hitters and hammer their front foot will wear those shin guards.
Mitchell strikes out. First strikeout of the inning, and each team left a man in the opening inning, and we have no score.
Before the first Lexus ever saw the light of day, it saw the light of countless days. As part of our anti-aging program, surfaces were blasted as if by the sun, just so we could see what materials would best resist fading and cracking. Because any car can be new today, we want to be new tomorrow.
Nothing beats number one. Nothing beats our beers. Nothing beats clean, crisp, and cold. This is the best, and we got it right here. Yeah, nothing beats the bud, yeah, nothing beats the bud, yeah, nothing beats the Budweiser. Nothing beats the bud.
It's a living laboratory for some of the world's greatest architects. But what's most remarkable about the city of tomorrow is that you can have a blast there today.
If you can't get enough of your favorite toppings, Pizza Hut has the pizzas you'll love. The Meat Lovers Pizza. 6 mouth-watering meat toppings smothered between 2 luscious layers of cheese. And now the new Veggie Lovers Pizza with peppers, mushrooms, and tons of other great veggies. Now get a Meat Lovers or new Veggie Lovers for $9.99. Any 2 for just $4 more. Meat Lovers, Veggie Lovers. Now who do you love?
Pizza Hut, making it great.
No score after one hit for each club. Second inning. Jack Armstrong and Mike Scioscia still the battery, and here is Ken Griffey Jr. to lead it off. Number 2 in the American League in hitting. And inside ball 1. And now a strike is called by the third base umpire, who said he went around on that one. Into the opposite field and chased by Kevin Mitchell. The wind will affect it, and it is foul, and it is caught. 1 out. Where, oh, where is Pat O'Brien? I think he found a place to sit. I think he's out in the scoreboard.
You know what, Jack? I found a great place to sit. Indeed, I am in the scoreboard, a dying breed in baseball. The scoreboard that's operated manually. No fireworks, no electronics. All I got is Dean up here who does the scores. What's the hardest thing about this?
Well, you got to be careful on runners going home. Sometimes you can get mixed up with the third base coach going further down the line, and you might think that that's the runner, and he might wind up going back to third base. So you have to watch that real quick.
You're kind of the Vanna White of scorekeepers. Do you like high scoring or low scoring?
I like the low scoring. Good game.
Fellas, it may be a dinosaur, but I don't know one kid who doesn't like dinosaurs. Back to you guys.
Strike 1 to Mark McGwire. The foul ball makes it strike 2 as it goes out of play. Yeah, the scoreboard operator says don't count the coach if he steps on home plate. And this is a low batting mark. It's the lowest, in fact, of any of the all-star players, of the 36 position players here in the all-star game. But He can make some noise. There's one out as he bats. And it's 1-2 from Armstrong. You're going to hear a lot about Alomars here this evening, and there's one of them, Sandy Jr. He'll next. The catcher for Cleveland. And it's 2-2. Don't look for Mark McGwire to choke up when he has a 2-strike count.
He's one of 3 rookies of the year with the Oakland Athletics. Canseco was the rookie of the year in '86, McGwire in '87, Walter Weiss in '88. They have strung some great years back to back to back.
2-2 to McGwire. And he got him with a breaking ball. Second strikeout for Jack Armstrong.
Jack Armstrong, All-American boy, has proven to be exactly that. Another slider to McGwire. Canseco, the other strikeout victim, on almost an identical pitch.
And Armstrong is almost through with the 2 innings he's going to work. This is Sandy Alomar. Only 3 home runs, but they tell us he's going to get stronger and hit with more power. That's a foul ball. Let's see what the wind does to it as Clark strikes it. And Armstrong finishes 2 good innings. An inning and a half. We look outside Wrigley Field. No score.
What is that? Looks like a bunch of old timber. Take a break, guys. I'll make a phone call. Don't touch anything. I'll be right there. We've got a major find here.
The two halves of archaeology and architecture seem to have collided today. The place is literally crawling with activity. And from what I understand, time is limited.
I think this might help you. Oh, yes.
On his face. Face.
Keep your hand.
His gun doesn't need a silencer. His mouth does. Treat me like the big that I am. Uncontrollable. Unstoppable. Unmistakably Dice. Nice to meet your acquaintance. Andrew Dice Clay. I'm sorry that I made you clean the toilets. I mean, who did all the work in bed? Is Ford Fairlane. What I say, come on. Rated R. Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
School's gonna be a drag. What do you mean? Come on, Tony. Jameson's rules.
Rule number 4, no gum chewing. Rule number 7, no funny business behind my back. And rule number 12, absolutely, positively, no hitting. Now, that's not going to be a problem for you, is it, Mr. Gwynn?
Feel the thrill again. Join us at the ballpark.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
It is still Bob Welch on the mound, bottom of the second, no score. And it must be nice when you're only 36 to have everybody know that it's your birthday. Happy birthday to Andre Dawson.
What a birthday present from the Cubs, too.
Signed a new contract for 1991, and he taps it back to the pitcher, Welch. Oh, says the crowd, 1 out. And Dawson also has an option for 1992, which will be an automatic option if he has a certain number of at-bats. They haven't talked about the money they gave him, Tim, but I'm sure it's considerable.
I would imagine.
Here is a quiet and lethal baseball player, Chris Sabo. First pitch is a ball from Bob Welch.
Sabo, a teammate of Barry Larkin at the University of Michigan. Also a hockey player, good golfer. Rookie of the year in 1988. And that was the year that the All-Star game was played in Cincinnati. And Sabo, as a pinch runner, stole second base in the 7th inning.
He'll show you some running, but he gets on base here. 2 balls and a strike. Coaching at third base, the very popular manager of the Cubs, Don Zimmer. He signed a new contract a few days ago. And over at first base, Jim Leyland of the first-place Pittsburgh Pirates. They're doing wonderful work there in Pittsburgh. And we'll see them play next Saturday here on CBS, 2-2 to Sabo. The Padres will be playing in Pittsburgh next Saturday, and that's one of two games that we'll be presenting on CBS, and the other one will be the Kansas City Royals at Fenway Park against the Bo Sox. Sabo, the deep short, backhanded by Ripken, and that's 2 out. No fireworks yet. Gee, I wish the wind was blown out. But this pitcher, Bob Welch, is happy we have the conditions we have. A nice slow infield with regard to the grass, the wind blowing in. He's almost through with his 2-inning stint. And here's Mike Scioscia. Scioscia gets the start because of the absence in the starting lineup of Benito Santiago. Santiago is in uniform and really lamenting the fact that he can't perform in this one. Scioscia is second start, and he shoots it at Ricky Henderson, and down go the National Leaguers. 1-2-3 pitchers duel here. After 2, no score.
There's something new coming to you from Budweiser. Something completely new. It's completely different and completely refreshing. Introducing Bud Dry. It's cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste. So if you're looking for smooth draft taste and no aftertaste, try Bud Dry.
They perform like great athletic shoes. And for a limited time, when you buy 4 B.F. Goodrich TA tires, get your favorite team jacket free. Distinctive styling. 100% cotton. With your choice of 26 Major League team logos. Hustle into a participating dealer for great performance tires and your free team jacket.
The Osborns are grandparents now, and they've never felt better about having State Farm car insurance. I'm their State Farm agent, Jerry Butler. You see, the Osborns like an agent who's there to give them plenty of personal attention. They like our fast, fair claim service, too. It gives them a sense of security, and they like saving with our special discount for drivers 50 and older. The Osborns know that nobody takes better care of the older driver than State Farm does.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I love what you do for me, Toyota. I love how you set me free. I love it. I said I love it.
If you've got the will, Toyota is the way.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
The friendly confines of Wrigley Field. These spectators are very, very close to the players and the playing field. It makes it quite enjoyable here. And the night is cleared. It's a wonderful evening after the rain which fell earlier. We were only delayed about 5 minutes or so for the start of the game. Here's a good young National League pitcher, Ramon Martinez. We also have Dennis Martinez on the National League team.
He leads the National League in strikeouts with 131. A fastball, a good changeup. He's been working with the pitching coach of the Dodgers, Ron Peronowski, on his breaking ball. It's a spinner right now. But he has a good fastball and a good changeup and is used to throwing to Mike Scioscia. We mentioned, by the way, that Scioscia is the first Dodger catcher to start a game for the Dodgers since 1954, and Roy Campanella was the catcher that year as a starter for the Dodgers.
And speaking of Roy Campanella, our very best wishes and our prayers for him. He is still hospitalized in Los Angeles. We called out there today. There's been no change in his condition. And we certainly hope it gets better quickly. This is Steve Sachs to lead it off. He's the only Yankee on the American League All-Star team. And ball one from Ramon. And the plate umpire wants to check the baseball. We're going to have a pinch hitter for Bob Welch, and that will be Brooke Jacoby. Martinez behind on the count, getting ready to pitch to Steve Sachs. Sachs has only one home run this year. His specialty is getting on and running the bases, and that one just missed, and that's ball two. That's the way Armstrong started the game, getting behind the first hitter, but he came back and got him. Now it's ball three. Try to get the breaking ball over on 2-0.
You mentioned Steve Sachs, the first and only Yankee on the American League team. The first time since 1972 that the Yankees have had only one player.
There are the strikes. Sachs thought it was a walk.
Hard to believe that Don Mattingly isn't on it. The first time Mattingly hasn't been on it since '83. Fifth different American League second baseman in the last 5 years.
Martinez has a pitch foul back. There's Ozzie Guillen, George Bell, Julio Franco. They're all friends tonight. All members of the American League All-Star team, and they're buddy-buddy for this one evening. 3-2 on the leadoff hitter, Sachs. From Ramon. Martinez, he walked him. Well, maybe we'll get some action now in this scoreless game in the third inning. Here's Jim Cott.
All right, Bob Welch got the American League out of the chute with a couple of effective innings. Now, all the pregame stuff is going on, and you've got to go through a little weight. What's ticking in that heart at that time?
Nerves are ticking. Everything's battling, but it's been very special. And to represent the world champions and have my teammates here with me, and along with our manager and our pitching coach, Dave Duncan and Dave McKay, made it an extra special event.
Not the pressure of a playoff, so in this one you can enjoy it.
Yeah, you can enjoy it until you get on the mound, and I got that first out, and I felt much more comfortable after that. But it's been a special 2 days, and it's something that I'll cherish, and I'll never forget it.
All right, back to Timmy and Jack.
And the batter is Brooke Jacoby, hitting .314 on the season. Sachs a threat to run and test the arm of Mike Socia. Sachs has stolen 19 bases this year. No ball one to him, so Socia wants to talk to the young pitcher, Martinez. Ramon is a tall fella, 6'4" and only 175 pounds, but he is strong. And he can go a lot of innings and keep pumping that fastball. Sachs draws a throw, and he was digging in to run. Well, we've had 2 scoreless innings here at Wrigley Field. We had some rainfall before the game, delayed the contest only a few minutes, and thus far it's a pitcher's battle, but a leadoff walk to Sachs, who draws another throw. He was leaning. The pictures you're viewing are from the Goodyear Blimp America, piloted by Captain Mark Kinnett. By the way, the Goodyear Blimp Puritan appeared at the very first All-Star game, 1933, and that was at Comiskey Park across town. And another throw to try to get Sachs. Frank Robinson coaching there, Will Clark holding against the runner. There have been no changes in the starting lineup defensively for the National Leaguers. In fact, they're obligated to play 3 innings as starters unless there's an injury. Sachs was going, they pitched out. 2-0. Now, these good base runners will tell you, Tim, they can read the pitch out. Do you believe them?
Well, I don't believe that all base runners do. Sometimes the catcher will jump outside too early, and that may happen. Only 2 base running threats for the American League team, and that's Steve Sachs and Ricky Henderson.
And we'll see both of them this inning. Sachs is going, and he swipes it. It's into short center, but Ozzie is backing it up. So the walk turns into a double, a walk and a stolen base.
Jacoby swinging, obviously a hit and run right here. Sachs with a good jump, and Mike Scioscia really had to battle that late swing by Jacoby. Watch the position, and the throw is a short hop, and Sandberg can't hold on. Had he held on, Sachs steals the base easily anyway.
So the runner's at second with nobody out, and the batter Jacoby. No score, third inning. And out of play it goes. One hit for each club. Martinez gave a leadoff walk. I asked Tony La Russa if he had many signs to give to his new team, the All-Star team. He said, yeah, but most of them are hit. They have a hit and run sign. They have a take sign. Roger Craig told me he has a don't go sign. Two and two to the batter. Martinez could use the strikeout, and he is a strikeout sort. And the foul back here, keeping it 2-2. One of the most beautiful cities in the country is Chicago. You fly over it at night, and you'll see an awesome sight. That's downtown Chicago, the tallest building, the Hancock building you see there. Making our way north along Lake Michigan out to Wrigley Field, where unfortunately they can get in less than 40,000. They could have put 100,000 here tonight had they been able to accommodate them. Runner at second. Nobody out. Smith in behind the runner.
That's the daylight play. Martinez and Ozzie Smith. When Martinez sees Smith and there's daylight, of course, it's tough to be daylight when it's nighttime. But when there's a gap between Smith and Sachs, the pitcher wheels and throw. The throw on the first base side, and Sachs back in time.
And he's there with nobody out as the American League threatens to take the lead. Jacoby is jammed, hits it to third. The runner stays, and Sabo throws him out. 1 out. He had to pull that ball. So Sachs has to stay at second, and if he's thinking about stealing, he'll be a little more intent about it now. Here is Ricky Henderson back up there, flying to right to start this game. We were talking the other day, wondering if anybody could name a better leadoff hitter in the history of baseball. Not in this day and age, but ever. This fella can do a lot of things and do them well.
I don't think any leadoff hitter has ever combined the package of speed and power and grace, run-producing ability, better than Ricky Henderson.
Ooh, what a swing he had at that one. Strike one. American League leading hitters. Ricky Henderson, Ken Griffey, Ozzie Guillen, Dave Parker, Brooke Jacoby, they're all here. Those are the top 5 batting leaders in the American League.
The Athletics haven't had a batting leader since 1952 when Ferris Fain, for the second consecutive year, led the American League in hitting. That, of course, with the old Philadelphia Athletics.
And a strike, and Martinez popped one in there for strike 2. Ooh. That was a very good fastball, wasn't it, Ricky? Yes, it was. 0-2.
People talk about the small strike zone of Ricky Henderson, but with those fluorescent gloves that he wears, I mean, you'd think that that would be kind of a way to find the strike zone. Look at those gloves and sweatbands.
And he got it. Martinez cut loose with another pitch. Jack Armstrong, by the way, pitched 2 innings. No runs, 1 hit, struck out 2, walked none. And after giving a leadoff walk, Martinez has retired 2. Sachs swipes second. He's there with 2 out. And here is Boggs. They're going to walk him. Hey, what's going on here? Huh. They're going to pitch to Canseco. What's Roger Craig trying to do? Give us a little excitement here?
The Oakland Athletics beat the San Francisco Giants 4 games in a row last year. Roger Craig was the manager of that team. Possibly still feeling some disdain for Canseco and the Athletics. Very, very unusual move right here.
Well, he gives us something to talk about, write about. That's fine. Thank you, Roger. This will be the second walk by Martinez. Now over there in the American League bench, what are they doing here? Hey, they're laughing at our hitters.
Now, they can't believe it, and neither can I.
We'll see what comes of it. That's Julio Franco putting on the display in Ozzie Guillen. The kids are waiting for a Canseco blast behind the left field fence.
He might be one of the few guys who